Hello everybody, welcome to Cape Rugby TV. It's Wednesday night and we bring you the very best of what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. We've got an absolutely jam-packed show for you tonight. But before I start with who's on the show tonight, big thanks to Hisense, that's of course on board with Cape Rugby TV as the official technical partner. Score Energy Drinks. Well, you will know that Score is of course involved with Western Province Club Rugby. At the 7th side, they're involved with various clubs that are out there. And of course, they were involved this weekend at the Hamadias Community 10s. So you'll be able to see some of the highlights from the Hamadias Community 10s in a second. Color Tone on board with Cape Rugby TV. And of course, Dulux Maitland at number 30 Coburg Road. Need any paint supplies? Get straight down to number 30 Coburg Road to Dulux Maitland and they will sort out everything you need. Coming up on the show tonight, we'll be taking a look at pre-season training from Macassar and from Rugby. And of course, as I mentioned, we'll be taking a look at the Hamadias Community 10s. With me on the show tonight, and he's also brought some of his own footage. He's busy with his own initiatives. Jerome Parvater. Jerome, welcome back to Cape Rugby TV.
Yeah, JP, first time this year, but it's good to be back. And yeah, looking forward for a great rugby season. The clubs are already working quite hard and busy. And yeah, it's exciting times again.
Also, first time back on for 2018, Labib Levy. Labib, nice to see you back here.
Yeah, nice to see the two JPs here in studio. There's been a few changes here, but still as good as ever.
We're ticking along here. Jerome, you've brought some footage with you. Of course, you were out at the High Performance Center and you had some young guns there with you. What are we looking at later in the show?
Yeah, we're looking at guys from Nyanga, Langa, Busy Bees in the club in the surrounding areas. We were testing them, so they will come in every Monday and we will work with them. And yeah, so that they can just have a proper gym program and they can go to the club and go help in the communities and tell them this is what they need to do.
This is what the pros do. Right, folks, let's get the ball rolling. One of the first venues that we went to was, of course, Rugby. Facilities are looking good. The players are training hard. Let's take a look at some of the pre-season training session happening at Rugby. Well, welcome back, everybody. Sorry about a little technical glitch there, but there was, of course, a training session at Rugby. They're playing in the Northern League this year, so sure, Rugby, from what I understand, the facilities are looking really good. It's a little bit dry at the moment. It's dry for everybody, but Jerome, we've been talking about it over the last couple of weeks, and Labib, you can also comment on this. A lot of the guys are going much more now towards this functional training. They're not panicking about getting the gym. You don't have a fancy gym contract. They're making it work for, I mean, we saw it there in the video, water containers, sandbags, they're flipping tires, they're shaking ropes, they're finding different ways to train.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to see that they improvise. We also encourage them to do that. I mean, a few years ago, we actually introduced to the clubs the strongmen, which they are doing now. So it's good to see that you can, without having a gym, access to a gym, you can improvise and you can do it. So yeah, it's looking good.
Labib, we went through a phase there where a lot of people said you couldn't train if you didn't have a gym.
No, I think the clubs and even the players are being very creative, carrying logs, picking up stones, using your environment. A lot of clubs, they're hitting the beach now.
Yeah.
They're doing all sorts of hill training, steps, doing mountain training. I mean, if you think in the old days, 20, 30 years ago, no one was in gym, but they were strong as well.
Yeah. But isn't it better for you to be doing this kind of functional training? Because in a gym, you're maybe just doing one muscle group at a time. Now you're picking something up, you've got to use the whole...
Definitely. Obviously, rugby is not a straightforward, straight push, straight pull game, although it helps. It is a lot of movement. While wrestling with people, when you're tackling, you're running, you're changing direction. Like I said, running up a mountain, doing hill training, helps with stepping,
Flip a tire, lift something, druk, stoei, roll, just whatever works. We managed to catch up with Rugby's head coach, Heinrich Gordon.
Hierdie jaar is nogal een van ons moeilike jare. Ek dink is maar common knowledge, ons het 'n bietjie gesak vir die jaar, so ons speel in die zones die jaar. So ons het baie van ons senior spelers eintlik maar verloor wat gegaan het na ander clubs toe. So is 'n bietjie taaf geweest hierdie jaar om mee te begin. Maar die manne kom aan die ander kant, omdat ons plaasgemeenskap is eintlik met nog baie ouens wat besig is om te pars die tyd van die jaar, so daai manne is nog op pad. So die nommers sal daarom beter lyk as wat dit op die oomblik lyk. Wat is die belangrikste vir die klub op die oomblik? Is dit belangrik om games te wen ten koste van wat ook al? So as ou nie kom oefen nie, maar hy is beter ou om te speel die dag. Hy gaan moontlik die team laat wen. Speel ons vir hom of gaan ons met die ouetjie wat geoefen het die hele tyd en weet hy het sy energie en sy tyd opgeoffer om hier te wees. Gaan ons met daai ou en ons bou 'n kultuur vir die klub en ek moet sê die bestuur was eens gewees en die besluit was gemaak. Ons moet die klub weer van die grond af begin opbou en ons kyk na om 'n kultuur te skep weer. Jy weet, en ook om die gemeenskap betrokke te kry.
Coach Heinrich Gordon there speaking to us from Rugby. Folks, that logo you see behind me right now is from Save SA Sport. I'll tell you more about that a little bit later. It's an online website, www.savesasport, and you go and buy your various apparel there. Labib, listening to Heinrich there, looks like they've got the game plan and seem to understand what's important for them this year.
Yeah. What I picked up there from him was actually made some comments with regard to silly season. Where this player left, the senior players left, and they moved clubs. But I think that creates opportunity for other players within the
community.
Community.
Proximity.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we want, right? We want players in the neighborhood
to actually play. But he's also saying, does he create a winning culture, or does he pick the player that's maybe better, that's not training? So those are all selection headaches that he's got early on already. And he's not even started. But I think.
And there's no right or wrong answer on that.
There's no right. It happens on the lowest level, but even on the highest level, coaches have to make that decision, and he's having to make those decisions early on in the season.
Yeah, I don't know, Jerome. I mean, what's your take on that? I mean, you can have, even if you take, let's say, the All Blacks, you can have a winning culture, and maybe the world's best fly-off doesn't make the team if he's not part of that winning culture. I mean, it's a complicated story, but that's the guy that might win you the game.
Yeah, and I mean, at clubs is a little bit different because he said also a lot of the farming communities, a lot of guys are still busy with grapes now, and this is the season where they work, so they don't have enough numbers at the field, but so once these guys are back, then he'll come. So you have to make a decision because there's certain guys training. Yeah, they're maybe not the best guys, but they're training, and the other guys will join in later. But it's actually better to use the guy maybe less talented, but to use the fitter and stronger guy.
Yeah, I think the part that I like about it is that the club is active, and they're not saying, "Oh, we'll wait until everybody's here and then we start operating." So, I tip my hat to the clubs that are saying, there are different things. Like you say, people are harvesting, Other times maybe it's fasting. There's lots of reasons why you can make an excuse to keep the doors closed.
Yeah.
But it takes a coach with an open mind and a community with a spirit and passion to keep the club doors open.
But it's also, JP, I mean, you one of the guys that say, like, we talk about professional, but guys must understand they're working in a community.
Yeah.
And I've been at a club where a guy come late, and then the coach want to sort of shout at the guy. Why? So I say, listen, at least the guy's here.
Yeah.
You don't know what happened. Maybe the taxi got stuck, or he worked late, or whatever.
Well, it doesn't
But the
really-
most important thing is the guy is here. You can't be so strict and disciplined at that level. If you're 5 minutes late, you're not going to play.
Well, I think any coach that's doing that is forgetting why he's a coach.
Exactly.
You've got to remember your job as the coach, as well as the chairperson, is to serve the club. Your job is to serve the community.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's not let's talk now about one of the people that are serving. Is of course the chairperson at Rugby, David Williams.
Man, klap is redelijk goed. Ons is nou aan die begin, ons het 'n nuwe bestuur gekies. So ons is aan die begin van nuwe dinge. Dit is 'n redelike ou klap. Ons het 'n geskiedenis van 116 jaar wat ons hierdie jaar vier. So ek myself as verkies as nuwe chairman. So ek het nuwe idees, nuwe dinge, maar ek wil dit combine met die ou tradisie wat die klub min lank aankom. Ek wil graag dit baie emphasize hierdie jaar in die klub. Laat ons hy tradisie vas en hy liefde vir Rugby Universals weer terug kan plaas in die gemeenskap. Belangrik vir my is dat ons dissipline het. Laat ons hy liefde ontwikkel vir Rugby Universals en dat die manne voel as hulle hier kom dat ons hulle 'n tipe van 'n family culture create. Soos ek sê, want dit sal die liefde uitbring en die trots wil ons graag terugbring in Rugby Universals. Want soos ek vroeër genoem het, ons history van 116 jaar kan ons nie weggooi nie. So dit is trots wat ons deurgedra het tot die tyd toe en dit is my mikpunt om dit te herstel en dan glo ek dat ons van krag tot krag sal gaan vir hierdie seisoen.
116 years? Kan jy dit glo? 116 jaar Rugby? Now we've got some incredible stuff happening in Western Province.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about that. Folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back from break, we'll move just a little bit across the road. Not so far from Rugby, Macassar. Well, welcome back, everybody. You're watching Cape Rugby TV. We're, of course, talking about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. And the question the panel asked now was, so we just heard their Rugby, 116 years old, and we know that there are some very, very old clubs in Western Province. If anybody knows who the president of the union was back in those days, any of those presidents going that far back, go to our Facebook page and let us know. We're quite curious. And going back, I wonder if they had fixtures. And one thing was for sure, back in those days they had water.
Yeah.
All right. Macassar, training time at Macassar. A lot of fans, Cape Rugby TV. I've got a lot of friends and fans out that neck of the woods. They're also in that Helderberg Basin, and well, we managed to catch up with them at a training session. Well, Macassar playing, of course, in Super League C in 2018 and looking to have a good season. Nice to have a good turnout, sir. I must say, Jerome, Labib, you as well. All the and we've been to a lot of the clubs now already this year in this pre-season. The guys are looking much more physical than they were looking 5 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah, the
Jerome,
guys, it's true, JP. You'll also see later on the guys that we've tested. It's amazing that for some or other reason the guys are eating properly. They're doing. So I think what we've started to preach about 10, 12 years ago is working now.
Kicking in.
And guys are doing it, and I mean we gave them various programs and things, and it's good to see guys are in shape.
No, there's definitely a difference in the the physical side.
I think that there's been a change in culture in Cape Town in particular. There's more running clubs happening. A lot of these guys going to gym and there's jumping on the beaches on their own, etc. And a lot of self-starters, people just taking self-responsibility.
But if you look at a lot of those guys, especially if you say that we started this talking about 10 years ago, if you take a look at some of those people we see there, they're 21 years old. That means they were maybe only 11 years old at that stage, which allowed, if they started listening then, allowed their bodies to develop while they were training physically differently. So their genetics and everything kicked in. And now we're getting to see some big club rugby guys and fast.
Yeah, in the coaches, I mean, we have various coaching seminars at Western Province where we go, or they come in and they listen. So you can see they listen, and they do and they improvise. So that's well done to the coaches. And if you look at the conditions, we don't want to talk about that.
No, we're not
to
talking
see
about
that the fields are full still.
Yeah.
So it's also good.
It just also goes to show the guys want to get together. They want to jaw together. They want to run together. They just want to throw the ball around together. I thought you were going to say the coaches were getting bigger.
Some of them.
Some of them are getting bigger. We managed to speak to one of the players at Macassar, Benedict Julius.
Ja, ons is nou 'n maand en 'n half besig. So jy kan sien die veld is redelik vol. Goeie pryse wat ons gehad het. Maar is positief vir die seisoen wat voor lê. En ja, vir die coaches en die bestuur wat ook hier op die veld is in alle tye. Ja, ons manne wegklipperd vir die jaar van 2018. Ja, ons het laas jaar nog weer die league gespeel, maar die jaar het ons 'n goeie preparation. So ek sien uit vir die jaar met die boys. Dat ons 'n sukses gemaak van die jaar 2018 in Super League C. Ja, ons is reg vir die. Ja, daar's 'n hele paar manne, jong manne wat opgekom het. Wat ons klub kom join het. Goeie talent. Ja, soos ons manne wat nou al 'n hele paar jare in die klub is dit vir ons 'n voorreg om saam hulle weer te speel die jaar. En vir ons onder 20 wat ek nou weer opkom, baie van hulle het opgestep na die senior rugby. So ja, gaan 'n goeie jaar wees vir ons. Ons plan vorentoe is ons sal net fokus op ons doel om weer in Superliga B te gaan speel. Maar soos hulle sê, ons klim maar die leer stap vir stap.
Nee, gaan goed. Ons het omtrent so 92 spelers sover gehad. Maar ons het nie altyd vir hulle almal op een tyd die ouens week ons nou skof en baie van ons getroud en hulle het ander verantwoordelikhede. Die ideaal sou is om al hy 22 een keer op die veld te hê. Maar die pre-season gaan goed. Ons nou is 5de week. Ons het probeer iets anders doen die jaar. Ons het vir ons ander maniere kry om die ouens dat hulle die ding enjoy.
Ja, ons kyk na die kondisionering, ons kyk na fiksheid, ons kyk na die ouens se stamina. En dan kyk ons na die ouens se skills. Dit is vir ons uiters belangrik dat ons dat die ouens daai stamina moet hê. En want dit gaan vir ons natuurlik moet deurdraai na die tweede helfte van die seisoen toe. So ons moet die ouens nou al goed kondisioneer dat ons 'n platform kan skep vir daai tweede ronde. So ek dink die ouens ons het strukture in plek wat ons werk met die ouens. En soos jy self kan sien, ons is nou net in die fase dat ons net fiksheid doen. Maar dan gaan ons natuurlik met die skills in hantering van die game.
So probeer net die klein dingetjies nou reg kry. Ons respek weer terug na die game te bring. En die ouens, soos ek sê, die ouens hulle game geniet. En dan behoort dit so reg te doen. Ek dink laas jaar was net so 'n paar klein dingetjies. Hulle sê mens maak jy klein dingetjies reg om die groot goed te kry. Jy fokus op die groot goed. So daai klein dingetjies wat laas jaar verkeerd te gaan het. Ons probeer net daai reg kry en dan gaan die groot goed self in plek val.
Macassar looking to go up to Super League B, and I was just saying to Jerome and Labib that listening to Coach Christopher Langeveld and Ryan Harris there, one can almost get emotional. In fact, it was emotional listening to both of them talk from the heart about what's happening at the club. But anyway, let's put the emotions aside. But that is that feel good. There's that feel good feeling about
Definitely.
community rugby, club rugby. It's really what we do, all of us, the whole of Western Province Club Rugby. But Jerome, and I see Labib was nodding his head there. This concept of making sure that you get through the season by halfway through the season, you want to be in your zone, Labib. You don't want to leave. You don't want at that stage be losing weight and players and stuff.
Yeah, what I liked, what I heard there was the fact that I could see they put some planning into the season, and they've put some structure, knowing when they actually want to sort of peak, and also make allowances if players get injured later in the season.
Yeah.
So to have 92 players at this stage of the season, it's pretty impressive, even if they're all not there.
Yeah.
So at least you have a base from which to depart from,
Yeah.
but also you cover your bases for later in the year.
Yeah, Jerome, we mentioned it last week, but so how looking at you got to look at now a strategy over a 6-month period. It's not one game or 2 games. You got to how important is the second and third team in terms of the planning going forward? Because you certainly can't just be banking on your 15 guys to win every game.
Yeah, it's good to see that. I mean, all the guys run together, and I mean at the clubs they must basically do the same thing, because your second team guy must go to the first team, or your under 20 guy, whatever, goes to the third team or whatever. So everybody have to have the same sort of structure and do the same things. So it's good. And one good thing that these 2 coaches were saying, which is so important, is we forget about it, is to have fun. They want the guys to come and enjoy and have fun, and that's what they're doing at the moment.
Well, talking about having fun and enjoying themselves, the Ahmadiyya's Community 10s was going on this weekend. Heck of a lot of fun there, and everybody very passionate about it. We're going to take an ad break, and when we come back from the break, we'll take a look at what happened at the Ahmadiyya's Community 10s. Remember, you can win yourself this Hisense Infinity Pulse, or at least H7S Pure Shot mobile phone. That comes a little bit later. I'll show you the Spot the Ball competition, but you need to download the Cape Rugby TV mobile app. So if you've got a mobile phone and you want to get a new mobile phone, you need to download the Cape Rugby TV mobile app and go and enter the Spot the Ball competition. We'll show you that slide a little bit later. And don't forget, you can win yourself a case of Score energy drinks. I'll tell you about that after the break. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. Right, so if you've got your mobile phone and you download the Cape Rugby TV mobile app, then you need to go and do the Spot the Ball competition, and you can put yourself in the mix to win a Hisense Infinity H7S Pure Shot mobile phone with 16 gigs of RAM, 2 gigs of RAM, a dual SIM cards. We've got 2 SIM cards in here, and of course it's Android Run. It's got a 5-inch multi-touch screen. So you want to win yourself this Hisense phone, go and download the Cape Rugby TV mobile app. It's available on the Google Play as well as on iTunes. Here's the Spot the Ball competition. All you need to do is tell us where is the ball. You can see the slide coming up in a second now. Anyway, there you see it now. A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, and C3. Very easy. Well, it's about as easy as you make it. You want to give it a go, Labib? You sure you want to have another look?
Yeah, I think it's B3.
You think it's B3? Jerome?
Do I qualify for the phone?
C2.
C2, all right. None of you want to go with D1, D2, or D3?
Easier D.
No, there's no D. But where I tell you what there was Ahmadiyya's up against Collegians, and this was of course in the Ahmadiyya's Community 10s, and this was in the Shield semi-final. Let's take a look now at some of the highlights in the semi-finals between Collegians and Ahmadiyya's. Well, that was the first game there, of course, in the Shield semi-final. The second game was against Ahmadiyya's. Second was up against Vineyards, also in the other Shield semi-final. But it certainly looked like it was a lot of fun there. Folks, club looks in fantastic condition. It was, of course, held at Veegiskraal, and Score energy drinks on the board there with the Community 10. So fantastic initiative there with Tariq van der Ros and his wild bunch, if you want to call them that, putting on an exceptional show. The marketing was done well, the PR was done well, the pamphlets were done well, the branding was in place, and I think big thanks again to Score energy drinks for coming on board with the Community 10s. And remember, I'll give you an opportunity to win yourself a case of Score a little bit later, so keep your mobile phones handy. Let's check out now what happened in the Shield semi-final between Ahmadiyya's first and Collegian's second side. Welcome back, folks. Just a little bit of a correction there. It was, of course, Vineyards up against Ahmadiyya's second side in the Shield semi-final. It was a win for Vineyards, 45-0 against Ahmadiyya's there. Let's move on to the next Cup semi-final now. This was, of course, the Ahmadiyya's Community 10s, proudly supported by Score Energy Drinks, Collegian's first team up against Rangers. All right, welcome back there, folks. Collegians and Rangers. 24-12 win there for Collegians over Rangers. Cup semi-final time now. Manenberg Rangers up against Primrose. Primrose up against Rangers there, of course, in the Cup semi-final. With a win there, 11-0 for Primrose. Time for us now to go straight into the finals. In the Shield final, it was Vineyards up against Collegians second side. Of course, the Shield final there, Collegians winning 37-7 over Vineyards. Let's go straight to the Cup final now. Primrose against Collegians 1. So fantastic initiative there. It was the Amadeus Community 10s, and of course in the finals there, it was Primrose up against Collegians 1, and it was a win for Primrose, 12 points to 7 against Collegians. Pretty much a derby match, if you want to call it that. Right, I did promise you the opportunity to win yourself a case of Score energy drinks, so you need to get your mobile phones handy now. You want to win yourself a case of Score energy drinks. As you saw, Score was on board there with the Community 10s. Support Score, get yourself a can in hand. All you need to do is SMS the word SCORE to 33090, 33090, and you put yourself in the mix to win a case of Score energy drinks. Congratulations to last week's winner, Daniel van Sitters. Daniel walks away with a case of Score energy drinks. Daniel, one of the guys from Cape Rugby TV, will be in touch with you shortly. Folks, we'll take an ad break. When I come back from a break, we'll take a look at what Jerome has been up to and what Labib is going to be getting up to. And I'll tell you about our one of our new partners, Save SA Sport. Back in a sec. All right, welcome back, everybody. You're watching Cape Rugby TV. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. All right, Jerome Parvater has been up to a couple of things at the High Performance Centre at Western Province Rugby. Jerome, we're going to take a little look at some video clip here. What are we looking at?
Yeah, JP, we've got some clubs in from Langa, Busy Bees, and all the clubs in the area. Just this time of the season, just to test them and to give them gym programs. So they will come in a couple of Mondays. So only Mondays they will come into the HPC where we will work with them.
All right, let's take a look at a little homemade video made by one of our new crew members, otherwise known as JP, short for Jerome Parvater.
Most of the guys they come from Blue Jet, BCP and Western Zebras, which means Langa and Kailisa. Most of them, according to the way it was, not a lot of them they do like the gym wise. Most of them they just focus on the outside like the field wise because of like we don't have like the gym also in the community now. They can't afford to go to Virgin Active like to pay to gym at Virgin Active. That's why they are starting the gym. I think each and every Monday you will see these faces, and maybe like one or two guys they're gonna join us next week, especially after like they hear what's going on here, like they get like this kind of experience and testing and stuff like this, because most of them they never done the testing. This is the first time like they do this, and they will show like they're gonna go there to share this to other players. They not yet to do all by next week. We'll see more now.
We just started off with a basic baseline testing, just to see where the guys are at. So we started with anthropometry, where we took their height and weight, to see where their BMI is, and took some skin folds with a fat. And then we did some strength tests with a squat and bench press. Then we did some endurance muscular work on the pull-ups and the push-ups. And we just did some cardio work on the rowers and the watt bike, to see where the guys are at.
All right, there we go. Anthropometry. Sounds like something you buy in a chemist, Jerome.
Yeah, no, it's basically, as Jappy was explaining, it's to take the skin folds, their weight, their height, and all fall under that
the plan. Are we seeing a plan here? That you've got a plan for some of these young guys that are going to go through the ranks?
Yeah, definitely, JP, and they are young guys. And we were talking earlier on the season, earlier in the interview, about the strength of these guys, and they are conditioned and they look good.
Labib, your opinion on Jerome's work, your as a professional, how do you feel about whether Jerome is he up to? Is he making the grade?
No, I was actually surprised to see the actual quality, for this time of the year. So well done, Jerome.
I was actually talking about his video work.
Yeah,
yes.
Good camera work.
Yeah. Jerome, I'm very impressed. You actually got the interview and the shot and everything there. I mean, it was the wrong way around, but
it's very easy, JP. I mean, you've been trying to tell people every year.
Yeah.
Send stuff. You can do it. You can do everything on this phone. You can talk. You can do whatever, and it's so easy. If I can do it, I know nothing about it. I must just change my angle now that I know I must do that. But it's really easy, and I mean you can do it. You can also, if you do, for example, a breakdown session, you can record it and you can play it the next session to the guys. There's a lot of things you can do.
And that's the beauty of what you did there, was you captured a moment and we were able to share it with everybody else.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, if you did that at your club, no one knew about it.
Yeah.
No one knew what you were doing, Labib.
Yeah, and with technology, the phone, the quality of the phone is great. You can actually do small clips. You can put it on WhatsApp to your players. You can send it to the other coaches and you can plan around it, and it's editable. You can download anything.
I think for you guys it's fantastic from a coaching perspective. For me, it's fantastic that we can share what we do in the community space with a couple of 100,000 people in South Africa.
Easy.
In fact, around the world. And all of this stuff goes on Facebook, it goes on YouTube, it sits there forever and ever. Whereas back in the day, people would just get lost. And today we're able to share. And I think that's what binds Western Province Rugby together. And I think it's really fantastic. Folks, we've got somebody on board with Cape Rugby TV now. Save SA Sport, a website where you can go buy all your apparel, your boots, your training gear. If you go to the online site and you just go to www.savesasport.com, you can get 20% off everything online, from rugby boots to footwear and apparel. You get 20% off on the entire order. Free delivery anywhere in South Africa above 750 Rand. And you've got until next week, the end of, Valentine's Day next week, to use this coupon code. Just put in the coupon code Cape Rugby TV on www.savesasport and get 20% off the boots such as top brands Puma, Mizuno, Canterbury, New Balance and Asics. So www.savesasport.com. Labib, you've got some activity coming up now over the next few months. In fact, you've got a score sevens. You've got
we've got a few courses coming up at Western Province. It's World Rugby courses, level 1 and level 2 for 15s.
Yeah.
Level 1 for 7s and level 2 for 7s later in the year. But we're also introducing the not new World Rugby, but the first time that Western Province actually doing the formal course, which is for strength and conditioning. And it's actually, we'll be doing it in March. We'll be having two courses in March, the 21st of March and the 28th of March. But all the information has been sent to the clubs and the schools.
Okay.
So the detail and the dates are there.
Yeah.
In the future, we'll probably look at
the HPC?
The strength and conditioning will be at the HPC. The others will be at Newlands. But we're also looking if there's clubs that can get maybe in their communities enough coaches together. We're prepared to actually send educators out there and do the courses at their communities.
So it's closer to home for them. They don't have to travel in.
And also time, it's easier to send 2 educators to work till 8-9 o'clock at night than to have 20 people trek to say Newlands and they must trek back.
Yeah, well, I think that's a fantastic initiative because I think one of the things we've identified as one of the biggest problems in sport in South Africa is transport. And to ask people to come in from all over, whereas if you can send satellite, I think that's a fantastic initiative. So no, well done. Sure. Hopefully you'll use your video camera out there.
Yeah, we'll take some pictures and do some recording, but I'll just ask Jerome to guide me.
Yeah, he'll give you some lessons.
Record on the phone.
Right, folks, just a reminder, the 15s Western Province League Players Reunion is on the 24th of February. That's at 11 o'clock at the Helderberg Rugby Club, and you can contact Aubrey Noble there on 0736253294. Get hold of Aubrey Noble, and they're having the ex-Western Province League Players Reunion. Just a quick interview before we wrap up with Ashraf Joseph, the chairperson of Hamadias. He managed to catch up there with us at the Hamadias community tents.
I'm telling you, a community says it all. To get the community close together on this beautiful day, and it just warms your heart that at the end of the day we had the champions, Primroses of the Community Cup. We had a Values Award which went to Manenberg Rangers for the splendid work they did in the community. And it's also not just about rugby, but it's about that community spirit, and that truly stood out today.
Well, one thing for sure, when you talk about water shortage, we had no shortage of bashes and score on sale today. Sometimes water is better than bashes is better than water. But in all respect, the people from those respective companies really are a foundation that we needed for in order to host such an event, because they are contributors to the community. We remember the brands of bashes from our community. It's important I mention this because without the community we have to fend for ourselves. And hats off to Cape Rugby for also coming out to this event, because they've also showed once again their support of community rugby, and long may continue. Long may continue.
We are working hard, especially like Tariq van der Ros, our head coach, coupled with our director of rugby, Mohammed Zain Daniels, and the whole team. They're working extremely hard in order to make it a successful season on the field. And we, as the administration, we also want to, carry on with those successes off the field as well. and that is getting the values components right and all those types of things, which we so much treasure as a community. Thank you very much.
Folks, we just had to make sure we played that interview once again. Hats off to everybody at Ahmadiyya's, from Ashraf to Tariq and everybody that made. I don't know, Labib, you got 10 seconds if you want to comment on that, but I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, well, Ahmadiyya is close to my heart. I played for them as a 6-year-old, and very well done to them. And they're actually a team and a club that's growing. I like it's putting a lot of emphasis on values, and may they grow from strength to strength.
Lekker, né, Jerome?
Yeah. So you
I was one of the oldest clubs in the country.
6 years old, so it was 50 years ago.
All right, first we're going to have to leave it at that, but you need 2 minutes. They're going to start climbing into each other here now. Once again, remember, all of the videos, everything is uploaded on Facebook. All the interviews, we will be sharing that on Facebook. It is on YouTube as well. So go and check out our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Jerome, donkey.
Thanks, JP. Good to be back.
I love you, donkey.
Thanks.
There we go, folks. That's a wrap. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend.